super tender, glossy pork strips stir-fried in a Korean style sauce. This one is super simple but so packed full of flavor. This is my spicy Korean pork stir-fry. So there are a few things that we do with stir fries at home that sometimes I think make them not as special as they can be. So I'm going to run through all my little very important tips and tricks for getting like the ultimate kind of stir fry, plus a special little ingredient that I'm going to add at the end that you wouldn't necessarily think of for a stir fry but will blow you away. Okay, so let's get started on the marinade part first, and we're going to do a marinade that turns into the sauce for the stir fry. So we only need to make one sauce. First off, we need some Korean gochujang chili paste. Looks like this, comes in these little red tubs, and I want quite a bit of this luscious red stuff. Now don't be alarmed, it's bright red, but it isn't super spicy. I mean, it does have a little bit of a kick, but it's more about the kind of savory umami flavors with this one, with a little bit of the chili spice. To that, I'm gonna add some soy sauce, some sesame oil, just a little dash of sugar, and some grated ginger. Now just give that a mix. Now let's chat about our pork. Now, choosing cuts of meat for a stir fry is where things can go a little bit wrong when you're doing a stir fry at home. So for me, I like to go with the slightly fattier cuts, particularly with pork. Pork fillet is one of the things that's often recommended for a stir fry, but there's hardly any fat and it can get quite tough. So I like to go with this cut of pork, slightly fattier. It's called a pork Scotch fillet, also known as pork shoulder, pork neck it's sometimes called. Basically, you're after this cut of pork with that little bit of fat through it. If you can't get this particular cut of pork, try pork belly. Thin slices of pork belly are beautiful in a stir fry. So that's tip number one, choose the right cut of meat. And then we want to slice it really thin. The thinner you can slice your meat for a stir fry, the more sauce you're going to get absorbing right throughout that little slice of meat, and plus the quicker it'll cook, and hopefully the quicker it'll cook, the more tender it will be at the end. Now get all of that pork into your marinade. Actually, chicken thighs work really well here, or beef as well. Now just give that a good mix. Now this does not need one of those epic long marinade times. Just a few minutes while we're preparing the other ingredients is all good. So I'm going to do some spring onion for the end. Now here's my other tip for stir frying. It's kind of like, you know, when people talk about pizza and chucking a whole bunch of stuff on the pizza, and then you kind of mix up all the flavors and you don't get the really good dough and the right ratio of cheese. And anyway, it's like that. Choose less. Less is more when it comes to a stir fry. So choose one or two vegetables plus your meat, and that's pretty much all you need. So I'm going with some spring onion, and oftentimes you'll find that the spring onion down the end is quite thick. So I like to thin that out a little bit. And then cut this into battens. It's like another vegetable in our stir fry rather than just being a garnish. And the other thing I need for the end of our stir fry is a lemon. We'll deal with that a bit later on. Okay, now we're ready to stir fry. Now when your wok is nice and hot, add some oil. You could also do this in a large frying pan as well, it doesn't have to be a wok. Add in some garlic and some onions. Now spread those out a little, make some room. And then add in your pork. Now as soon as you get that pork in there, spread it right out as far as it'll go. I want as much pork coming into contact with the hot pan as quickly as possible. And then don't touch it. So here's where you can also go wrong at home. You know when you see those Chinese chefs like stir frying vigorously in a restaurant? That's great because they've got really high hot heat. But I find with home gas burners or electric stovetops, you don't get that same heat. So you kind of got to let the heat do its work on the pork before you start messing around with it. All right, so half a minute or so, and now we toss. And then again, spread everything out. Let the meat cook a little bit. And then stir fry. Repeat that 3 or 4 times until the pork is just cooked. Now, the other vegetable I've chosen is some carrot, some finely shredded carrot. Also going to add in my spring onion. I just love how glossy and colourful and beautiful that stir fry looks. Now when the pork is cooked through, I'm going to turn the heat off, add in some sesame seeds. And then here's my little secret ingredient, which is not traditional, but adds such a great kick of flavour. I'm going to add in some lemon zest. Toss that through, and that beautiful lemony citrus aroma is so enticing. Yum. It's like a little ray of sunshine for our pork. Now all that's left to do is serve up our beautiful stir fry. Another little sprinkling of sesame seeds, and there you go, the stir fry that is beautifully tender, has a huge amount of flavour, a little secret ingredient, and let's just see how we've gone. It is so great when something so simple to make is just incredibly tasty. That little hit of lemon at the end is so good. That little spiciness from that gochujang. And the pork, it's so tender. So good. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not hit that subscribe button plus the little bell one, and that way you'll get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks guys.